Hello the cop, please subscribe my channel for follow Liverpool Football Club news on every days. Liverpool strike late to knock Arsenal out of FA Cup. In the weekend's main FA Cup third-round match, Liverpool defeated Arsenal 2-0 thanks to an own goal by Jakub Kiwior and a thunderous late goal by Luis Diaz. The hosts' terrible play continued into the new year on Sunday. In the 80th minute, Kiwior's head was struck by Liverpool captain Trent Alexander-Arnold's free kick, making Arsenal pay for the several opportunities they had missed in the first half. After that, Diaz struck again in stoppage time to guarantee Liverpool, the 8-time winners, a spot in the fourth-round draw. Leading Premier League team Liverpool had been second best in the first half, while Arsenal had missed a number of early opportunities, captain Martin Odegaard coming closest when he struck the crossbar with a strong drive. But Liverpool turned things around after the break, and their 7,000-strong travelling fan base was rewarded with 2 goals in the closing minutes. Now, Arsenal has dropped its last 3 games in all competitions. "We changed things around at halftime internally, and we came out and played football and created chances," Alexander-Arnold stated. "In the first half, there were moments when we were a touch too innocent. We have our chances since we hit the woodwork a few times, and in the end, we put them away." Luis Diaz punishes wasteful Arsenal and seals Liverpool's FA Cup progress. On that particular day, Arsenal may have played for a further 90 minutes without managing to score a goal. For both the home support and Mikel Arteta, it was extremely frustrating. But the kicker would destroy them, causing jeers to break out at full time and giving the impression that the team had gotten into a minor crisis. Liverpool was ecstatic beyond measure. Given Arsenal's performance heading into the FA Cup match, 3 Premier League losses in a row, there had been a feeling that this match was more significant for them. They needed to regain momentum more than anything. Liverpool, who are now atop the standings, knew they would get a chance to win the Carabao Cup. On Wednesday, they will play Fulham in the first leg of their semi-final at Anfield. Liverpool weathered the storm that was Arsenal, or, to put it another way, they consistently showed a worrisome lack of ruthlessness when it mattered most. Then they gave them a hefty blow. Trent Alexander-Arnold's free kick from the left on the 80th minute dealt Arsenal a body blow, as Jakub Kiwior's effort at a clearing header went into his own net despite little to no pressure. Someone rolled the die. Arsenal, who were leading the league at Christmas, are suddenly feeling like a team in ruins. At the very end, Luis Diaz hit the near top corner on the break, which significantly reduced their lead. This was Liverpool setting a precedent for the title chase before they returned to this league on February 4th. Progress in the cup is still important though. They succeeded despite Mohamed Salah's absence due to his commitment to the Africa Cup of Nations. This served as something of an appetizer for the main meal of the 4-club league match on February 4th. However, if Liverpool did set the precedent, despite the absence of Mohamed Salah, who is playing for the Africa Cup of Nations, and Virgil van Dijk due to illness, it must be acknowledged that the FA Cup still matters. Arsenal came out swinging, with the flashing lights on the bottom of Bukayo Saka's boots being just one striking feature. Arteta had called last Sunday's league loss at Fulham the lowest point of the season, a painful and sad day. Later in the first half, he would switch to a more traditional pair. Arsenal had several decent chances in the first few minutes, and Martin Odegaard should have scored when he struck the crossbar from a well-placed shot on minute 11. After a long ball from Aaron Ramsdale, the goalkeeper for his club's domestic cup, Reiss Nelson, who started ahead of Gabriel Martinelli on the left, nearly rounded Alisson at the beginning of the match. However, another attempt from Nelson would deflect wide. Kai Havertz used a curler on Alisson as well. The loss of Van Dijk by Liverpool had been the main team story. "Virg finds it hard to look bad, but he did," Klopp remarked. The Liverpool manager would rattle off a lengthy list of more absences, and he piled youth onto his replacements bench. In the 70th minute, Bobby Clark and Connor Bradley would get on. As central defense backup to Van Dijk, Jarell Quansah triumphed. Havertz was utilized up top by Arteta in place of the injured Gabriel Jesus, and he had a good opportunity to score before half-time. Havertz hesitated twice before attempting a shot that lacked confidence, and there was the one occasion when he headed wide on a corner after shoving Quansah aside. When Ben White made Alisson topple a rising drive, he'd won it. Prior to the half, Klopp bemoaned Liverpool's lack of success in applying pressure, starting with the front players. Before the break, it was essentially all Arsenal. However, Liverpool, who had a corner kick missed by Nunez in the 22nd minute, came close to taking the lead towards the finish. Running onto an attractive ball up the inside right, Alexander-Arnold unleashed a vicious shot that left a significant imprint on the crossbar. Prior to Christmas, Alexander-Arnold had performed a similar action in the team's 1-1 league draw at Anfield. At the beginning of the second half, Arsenal, sporting an all-white uniform in support of their No to Red anti-knife crime campaign, kept up the pressure. Observing Arteta on the touchline was exhausting, and it became more of a psychological test than anything else. Saka missed chances twice after crossing to the far post. Klopp made a switch. Jota took over as the number 9, with Nunez shifting to the left. Ryan Gravenberch replaced Curtis Jones as the left-handed number 8, Jones moved up to the number 6. Liverpool's confidence gradually increased from the back to the front, and they started to promote the breakthrough. A breakaway pass to Diaz was missed by Nunez. Jota made a left-to-right cut before feeding Diaz, whose low shot Ramsdale expertly stopped. Jota stood up from the next corner, bumping her head against the crossbar. Anxiety engulfed Arsenal. Eventually, they would be overpowered. Trent Alexander-Arnold details Liverpool change that inspired huge Arsenal win. Liverpool defeated Arsenal 2-0 at the Emirates Stadium in the FA Cup, led by Trent Alexander-Arnold. After securing their spot in the FA Cup fourth round, Trent Alexander-Arnold called the late 2-0 victory over Arsenal huge. In stoppage time of the second half, Luis Diaz completed the scoring, giving the Reds a 2-goal advantage when Jakub Kiwior turned Alexander-Arnold's corner into his own net. The Liverpool stand-in captain also praised Jurgen Klopp's halftime adjustments in his post-match remarks, noting that his team had to withstand pressure from the Gunners for the opening 45 minutes. As Mikel Arteta's team delighted in putting pressure on the Reds inside their own half, Martin Odegaard had the finest opening, rattled the crossbar. They were unable to capitalize on their pressure, though. Wataru Endo and Mohamed Salah were two of the Liverpool first-team players that were unable to travel to North London since they were competing in the Asian Cup and African Cup of Nations, respectively. Additionally, Dominic Soboslai's hamstring injury made Red manager Klopp's selection problems worse, as Virgil van Dijk was unable to go to the Emirates due to illness. However, following the valiant triumph, Alexander-Arnold emphasized the sole goal for their journey south and expressed his happiness as his squad advanced to the following round. He told the BBC after the game, "Huge. Got a lot of players missing, lads on internationals, Verg missing from the squad as well. We only came here intending to win and advance to the next round, and we succeeded in doing so by scoring 2 goals in the last moments. After the break, we made a change of heart, came out, played football, created opportunities, and had an influence on the game. In the first half, there were moments when we were careless and got caught playing from behind, which gave them opportunities to take advantage of our errors. They're a high-pressing team, but we stayed with them. We have an identity, and we made use of our players' strengths. We had Darwin Nunez, Lucho, Luis Diaz, and Harvey Elliott on the ball. We changed things up, with Darwin going wider and Cody, Gakpo, going forward and producing a lot of scoring in the second half. Liverpool will now wait to find out who their opponents in the FA Cup's final 32 are before Manchester United travels across Greater Manchester to the DW Stadium to play Wigan Athletic on Monday, January 8. Hello the Cop, please subscribe my channel for follow Liverpool Football Club news on everydays.